Hello everybody, welcome to third EEP class. As I have explained you in my last class, it is very essential to buy EEP books. Without buying them, if you listen to this class, it may be in vain. So please buy the books while I am explaining. Open them and listen to me well so that you will be able to understand. Moreover, when you come across any new vocabulary or the sentence construction, you just note it down. While I am telling you the meanings or explaining the sentence meaning, you just note them down and later on you just cross check and then you learn in a better way. Okay, in my previous classes we have finished 1 to 5 passages and 6 to 10 passages also, and I have given you the homework. The key is sent to your teachers, so you just do the cross checkings of those answers. If you have any doubts, ask your teachers to clarify those. In my first class, I have explained you how important this EEP class is. It helps to improve your reading skills, analytical skills, and to improve your vocabulary also. So don't take it for granted. Without wasting much time, let's get started. As part of this third EEP class, we are going to finish 11th to 15th passages. The title of the 11th passage is not given, but let us understand after discussion of this passage. The first problem to be tackled was that of feeding the huge population of the country after independence. Yes, population has been increased rapidly, you know very well, but in order to feed that population, we need to implement new strategies. What are those? Let us see. It became essential to adapt strategies for agricultural development. Yes, if you do not take care of the development of agriculture, definitely the feeding could be the problem. The major problem could be the feeding. The construction of multi-purpose projects with the development of irrigation as one of its major components was the first step towards the provision of agriculture infrastructure. So what is this agricultural infrastructure? This is called the equipment that we use to develop or to follow the process in agriculture. Okay, it is very essential to take it as a major component. Okay, to implement or to develop the agriculture, we need to follow new strategies, new implications, or we need to follow the new technology also. Otherwise we cannot produce more crop. Okay, it was realized that water is the basic ingredient in developing agriculture. Yes, why not? Water is a basic element. Without water we cannot produce crops. Okay, we cannot make crops. So water is a essential basic element in agriculture. The total irrigation potential was therefore increased. If there is a substantial water, it automatically increases the production in crops also. So if we want to take care of the agriculture needs, definitely we could focus on water. Without water we can't do anything. And not only that, in order to increase the production of crop or rice, we need to follow the new technology, new strategies or new plans. Understand? So by reading this passage or by understanding this, if any name strikes to you, just please discuss that name of this passage with your teacher. Okay, now let us analyze the question answers. Number 1, which of the following is least likely to replace the word tackled as used in the passage? See my dear students, here what they are asking exactly, which of the following words is least likely to replace. Okay, not the most suitable but the least suitable. Okay, number 1, handled. Tackled means handled. Number 2, dealt. If there is a word dealt, there should be another word with, or deal in or deal with, but there we can't see that word. Number 3, maintained. Means here tackled means maintained, they have given, and tackled means altered, fourth option. So altered here obviously changed. Okay, change, alter means change. Maintain means, or like we call supervision, we can say. But here according to the passage, the least conveyed meaning to the word tackled is handled, but not accurate we say, but the least conveyed meaning. Okay, That's what we have to understand. Number 2, which of the following is the correct spelling of essential? If you see the second line, it became essential to adapt strategies. There they have given the wrongly spelled word essential. What is the accurate spelling for that? Look at option B, ESSENTIAL, essential. This is the right spelling of the word. Question number 3, which of the following could replace strategies as used in the passage? Yes, we have many names for this word strategies. Sometimes we say plans, sometimes we say implementations. Okay, so sometimes what is the meaning here? Look at the passage once again. It became essential to adapt strategies for agriculture development. By looking at this line, we simply say strategies means plans. But if you follow the next line, the construction of multi-purpose projects, okay, with the development of irrigation as one of its major components, was the first step towards the provision of agricultural infrastructure. See, here the main word comes, agricultural infrastructure. It means it deals with equipment. So what the strategy is here, the right meaning for strategies, it is not politics, it is not implements, it is not even theories also, it is obviously technology. Because what is this agricultural infrastructure? It deals with equipment, understand? So we need sufficient equipment. That's why technology comes into picture. If you follow technology, there we follow advanced equipment, understand? So the right meaning for strategies here is to follow technology. Next, fourth one, which of the following is the opposite in meaning to major as used in the passage? Opposite of major here, see, it is not tiny, it is not serious, it is not unimportant, it is trivial. The option C is the right answer. Trivial is the opposite word for here major. Okay. Next, fifth question, the term agricultural infrastructure would include all of the following except. Yes, as I have told you, agricultural infrastructure deals with the equipment. Is it right? So what are the things that are right except one option beneath the question? Option A, electric power and facilities for irrigation. It comes under agriculture infrastructure. Tools and implements for cultivation and other agricultural practices. It also comes under agricultural infrastructure. Facilities for transportation and the provision of agricultural markets. These are all the things that deal with agricultural infrastructure. But look at option D, farmers and laborers involved in agriculture. Are farmers and laborers equipment? No, they are human beings, they are not equipment. So except D, all three are suitable for agricultural infrastructure. Am I right? So option D is the right answer. Let's come to the sixth one. Which of the following is the opposite in meaning to realized? Realized, the word realized as used in the passage above. Realization means what? Having the clarity about something, means you become knowledgeable. When you have knowledge, you don't have ignorance. Am I right? So here it is not forgotten. Opposite of realized here, not forgotten. Option C, not assured. Option D, not estimated even. But option B is right. You can ask me, sir, how this option B ignored is suitable opposite for this realized. I have just explained you. Realization means having clarity or knowledge about something. When you are knowledgeable, you are not ignorant. Understand? So knowledgeable, ignorant, or ignored we can say. In that cases, we prefer ignored as opposite word for realized. Understand? Number 7. Which of the following could replace basic as used in the passage above? So according to the passage, this is called, we say, contextual meaning or the content meaning. When you follow contextual meaning, there may be different opposite words or synonyms for certain words. But if you follow the content, then you can get accurate word, either opposite or synonym. Look at the first option. Is the simplest synonym for basic? No. Is fundamental synonym for basic? No. Is first synonym for basic? No. It is essential. Basic means what? Primary. Essential. Okay. So the primary one, essential one. So option D is the right answer. Number 8. Which of the following could replace potential as used in the passage? They are asking the synonyms in 7th and 8th questions. Okay. So is it capacity for the synonym of potential? Is it volume? Is it quantity? Is it equipment? Equipment not, quantity not. It is not even volume, it is capacity. See, my dear students, option C also comes into picture because it refers to quantity here. But potential is always, if you are potent, okay, if you have the potential, you are capable. It means you are capable. Okay, if you are potent, you are capable. That's why we prefer option A, that is capacity. The right replaced word for this potential is capacity. Understood? So that's all about the first passage. Hope you have understood it well. Now let me enter into the 12th one, second passage in this class. The title of this story, Take Time to Sharpen the Axe. Yes, of course you are not a woodcutter, you no need to go to the forest every day to cut the trees. But what is the moral hidden, or what is the story about? Let us discuss. Once upon a time, a woodcutter asked for a job in a timber merchant. The merchant appointed him. The pay was really good, and so was the work conditions. When the pay is good or high, definitely there are more work hours. The work conditions are somewhat strict. Understand? So once upon a time, a woodcutter was jobless. He went to timber depot and asked for a job, and the merchant appointed him. As there was a vacancy, he appointed. For those reasons, the woodcutter determined to do his best. What are those reasons? When he went there for asking job, the merchant appointed him and the pay was also very good. So he decided to work hard, to give his best. Okay. His boss gave him an axe and showed him the forest area where he was supposed to work. Yes, the merchant took him to the forest and showed one area and asked him, this is the area where you have to work. The first day, the woodcutter cut 18 trees. Congratulations, the boss said. When he cut the 18 trees and took it to the depot, he said, congratulations, because he prized him. The merchant prized the woodcutter, and he also said, keep it up. The first day, how many trees did he cut? He cut 18 trees. Continue the same, said the boss. Motivated by the words of the boss, the woodcutter tried harder the next day. Definitely, whenever in the examinations you get more marks, if the teacher prizes you in front of the class, next time, what is your thought? You try even harder to get more marks. Understand? So here also happened the same thing, but he could cut only 15 trees this time. How many trees did he cut first day? 18. The boss appreciated. With more excitement, he went the next day, but he cut only 15 trees. The third day he tried even harder, but he could cut only 11 trees. What is happening? First day 18, second day 15, and third day it reduced to 11. Day after day he was able to cut only less number of trees. You probably might have noticed what has been happening. Okay, I am coming to the same point. I must be losing my strength. The woodcutter thought that he might be losing his strength, physical strength. He went to the boss and apologized, means said sorry, and asked his help to identify what the problem was. Yes, woodcutter was so cautious. He was unable to find what the mistake was going on, why the number of trees cutting has been reduced day by day. He went to his merchant, he went to his employer and asked him what the problem was. He thought he could help. Okay, he could identify the problem and he could give the solution for that. When was the last time you sharpened your axe? The boss asked. See, this is what the problem with many people. Whenever we work so hard a longer period of times, we forget to take the time to sharpen our skills. Here axe resembles our skill or talent. Understand? So when was the last time you sharpened your axe? The boss asked. Sharpen the axe? Sharpen the axe? I had no time to sharpen my axe. If you also say, I have no time to sharpen my skill or to develop your talent, what happens? Okay? I was busy, said the woodcutter. The story ends abruptly without the message of merchant, without message from merchant. What could be the message from the merchant? Can you guess, students? Probably. You may be right. Yes, even though you are busy, even though you are quite busy with the work, working very hard for a longer period of times, it is essential to sharpen your axe, means to develop, to sharpen your skill or talent. The message is not given by the merchant here, but we should understand. Okay, so continuous work, that to hard work for a longer time, not suggestible. Okay, even though you work hard, you have hectic work, take time to sharpen your skill. Okay, that's a message here. Now let us analyze the question answers. Number 1, the woodcutter's boss was a short-tempered man, a cool-headed man, a strict man, a shrewd businessman. See, short-tempered man means for smaller things, he fires on employees. Is he like that? No. Is he cool-headed man? Maybe cool-headed man. Is he strict man? If he was strict, he might have ordered the woodcutter to cut only 18 trees every day. Okay, he is not strict. But come to D, he is a shrewd man. Shrewd businessman means intelligent and knowledgeable. That's why he asked the question, when was the last time you sharpened your axe? He gave the chance to the woodcutter to realize what his mistake was. Do you understand? Okay, he might be cool-headed, but more accurately, he is a shrewd businessman, intelligent and knowledge. For a businessman, it is needed. That's why we rely on the option D. Okay. Number 2, each of the following was a motivational factor for the woodcutter, except only one option is not at all the motivational factor for the woodcutter. Remaining all are motivational factors. What are they? Let us see. Option A, is good pay motivational factor or not? Definitely the pay was good. It is a motivational factor. B, is excellent work conditions motivational factor or not? Definitely there are excellent work conditions. Okay. Next, C, his boss appreciation for his job. Definitely first day when he cut 18 trees, his boss appreciated him. So A, B and C all are motivational factors for the woodcutter, except D, his desire for a pay rise. Students, have we discussed about the disappointment of woodcutter in the pay rise? No. He was satisfied with his pay, but he didn't have the intention to ask his employer to get the high pay. So D is not at all the motivational factor. So option D is right for second question. Number 3, what was the cause for woodcutter's worry? Yeah, he worried. Look at the third passage from the bottom. You can understand, I must be losing my strength. The woodcutter thought, the woodcutter means worried. Let us see. A, option A, he was losing his physical strength. Yes, definitely. B, option B, he could not live up to his employer's expectations, means the merchant. His merchant has certain expectations on woodcutter. Did woodcutter think that he was not able to live up to the expectations of merchant? Might be. He feared that he might lose his job. Of course, if he reduces cutting trees, definitely there will be a chance to lose his job one day. Option D, he feared that he might not be able to cut even a single tree in a few days of time. See, what is happening? The cutting of trees is being reduced day by day, and one day it will become zero. It might be the reason. It might be one of the reasons. Look at option A, he was losing his physical strength. My dear students, sometimes for a question, 4 options might seem very accurate, but the perfect answer will be 1. What is that? Option A. How? Look at again the third passage from the bottom. I must be losing my strength. Based on this direct statement, we rely on option A. These may be conveying the indirect meanings, but option A gives the clarity in a direct sense. So we prefer option A. So this is a way to analyze these kinds of questions. Hope you have understood. Number 4, the woodcutter's inability to sharpen his axe shows his. Yes, he was unable to sharpen his axe every day. What does that show? Let us see. Does it show his laziness? No, he is a hard worker. He is not lazy person. Does it show his carelessness? No, he is more careful. He thinks about his employer. He thinks about the cutting trees. He thinks about his hardworking nature, and he gives his best. He is not careless. Does he have overindulgence? Yes. Overindulgence means what? It may be a new word to you. Overindulgence means having or focusing on work too much without thinking any circumstances or the consequences, focusing on work for a longer period of time or too much. That is called overindulgence. Understood? So it may be the right answer. And feebleness means weakness. Is he weak? No, the woodcutter is not weak. The woodcutter is not careless. The woodcutter is not lazy person. He has overindulgence. So option C is the right answer. 5th question. Which of the following message is least conveyed through the passage? See, they are not asking you which is the correct message that we get from this passage. The message that is least conveyed. So you need to read 4 options and 4 are accurate, and you need to take the least conveyed message. Okay, let us see the option A. Hard work always brings you success. Yes, if you are a hard worker, definitely one day success knocks at your door. Why not? Let us see option B. Overindulgence in work can make us dull. Definitely. If you do not spend to sharpen your skill, definitely this overindulgence. I have explained you what is overindulgence. Focusing on work too much or working harder for a longer period of time without thinking any circumstances or consequences. That's what I have told you. So definitely overindulgence in work can make us dull. Yes. Motivation can increase output. Why not? Definitely. It is also the best conveyed. D. Appreciation inspired the employees to do better. Definitely. Appreciation from any person, from your parents or from your teachers or any person increases your ability to do better. So among the 4, option A is least conveyed, because hard work always doesn't bring you success. You need to think about remaining things also. So least conveyed. My dear students, what is the question? Least conveyed message. So option A is right. 6th one. The boss suggested the woodcutter to sharpen the axe. Yes, he suggested. This displays his practicality, means merchant's practicality, merchant's tactfulness. Tactfulness means being tricky, actually, playing the tricks. Okay, tacts. And sympathy. Is he showing sympathy on woodcutter? No. Is he playing wittiness? Wittiness means I am making jokes out of hard conditions. Okay, wit and humor, you know well. So B, C and D are not at all suitable. His boss is more practical. Understand? By saying this sentence, he showed his practicality. Okay, so option A is right. Question for discussion, 7th one. What is the moral of this story? Yes, there is a moral. I have explained you, but if any moral strikes to your mind, please discuss with your teacher who is handling this EEP class now. If you were to advise the woodcutter, what will be your advice? Yes, if you are asked to give one advice to the woodcutter instead of the merchant, what would be your advice? Discuss these things with your teacher. That's all about the second passage in this class today. Let us enter into the third one. No one can be right always. Definitely. There is a proverb in English, error is human. Means humans always do mistakes. But there is an intelligence in our minds. We need to learn from that. If you don't learn from your mistakes, definitely you won't be the perfect person. All are imperfect. All are not correct always. It is general acknowledge that children learn a lot from their parents. Not just from the parents, from any elders, from teachers, from relatives, okay? From many elders, they learn a lot of things. It is certain. It is quite sure. It is not so commonly admitted that parents learn a great deal from their children. Yes, yes, yes. Not just parents, my dear students, even the teachers or the relatives or any elderly person, there is a little things. There are little things learned from the children, but definitely in a matter of fact manner that there are certain things that are learned from the children also, from the small children. Okay, let us see. As adults, it is easy to assume that we are always right, but the laugh was on me one beautiful day. By these lines we can understand the narrator of these lines may be an elder. Okay, an elder. So it is easy to assume that we are always right because we are grown-ups. We think we are always right. We think we are always right. An elder person is saying, remember, but the laugh was on me one beautiful day. Sometimes when you feel you are wrong, you laugh. Sometimes you realize your mistakes. Sometimes you express different things. But this person laughed. Why? Did she or he commit any mistake? Let's see. My daughter. Yes, this word reveals that my daughter. This reveals that he or she may be a parent. The narrator may be a parent. Okay. My daughter Renuka knew how much I loved flowers. One day when she was of 9 years, she picked some branches from our neighbor's blossoming fruit tree. So there was one blossoming fruit tree. She picked. Who picked? Renuka. Okay, the daughter picked some branches from that tree. However, I did not scold her and choose a different approach. She, as a mother, did not scold her, but she chose a different way to tell that was wrong. That was wrong. Next, these are lovely, dear, but do you realize that if you had left them on the tree, each of these blossoms would have become a cherry? This is what told by the mother. No, they would not be, she said firmly. Firmly means strongly, with a conforming tone. Firmly means with a conforming tone. The daughter said, no, mother, they would not be. They would not be turned as cherries. That's what her intention. Oh yes, they would have. They would have. Each of these flowers would have grown into a cherry when, if the daughter had left them on the tree itself. Okay? Well, okay, mother, if you insist, I agree. She conceded finally, means agreed. Agreed. Did not offend. Okay? Conceded means agreed without offending others. But last year they were plums. Yes. This shows that the child was correct. Okay? What does it show? Actually, when they were plums, mother allowed her to pluck them. Now also she allowed her to pluck them. When she didn't allow her to pluck those when they were plums, she might not do this mistake again. Understand? So this indirectly shows that the mother was wrong. That's why there was a laugh on her face. Understood? So that was a conversation between mother and daughter. Now we should understand all people or everybody is not correct always. So even elderly people also commit mistakes quite often. So it is important to realize our mistakes and learn from our mistakes and not to commit those again. Okay? Hope you have understood this beautiful short story. Now let us analyze the questions. Number 1, the tone of the passage is essentially, yes, actually it is not nostalgic, it is not ironical, it is not cynical, it is humorous. It is somewhat humorous story. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. Number 2, Renuka's act of stealing the blossoms for her mother shows her. Yes, actually, Renuka took the branches of that blossoming tree. This shows her devotion towards mother, her concern towards mother, her care towards mother, or her fondness towards mother. Fondness means just like, okay, likeliness. Care means does she take care by taking the branches of the tree? No. Is she concerned about mother too much? No. Does the daughter have devotion towards mother? No. We can say that is just the fondness. Okay, when you like somebody, you like to gift somebody. Here she is trying to gift the flowers. So option D is right. Number 3, the mother knew that it was wrong to pluck blossoms from the trees. Why didn't she scold Renuka for that? Yes, however she knew, she did not take the approach of scolding, remember, but she chose different approach. What was that? Is that she knew that it was not her habit to do so? No. She has rights. Okay, as a mother, she has a command over her daughter to tell what is right and what is wrong. Okay, option A is not right. The neighbors were unaware about it. If the neighbors are unaware about it, do you do anything in their house? No, it is not also suggestible. Come to option D. She had done it without the knowledge of the neighbor. Without the knowledge of neighbor or with the knowledge of neighbor, it is not the concerned point here. It is not the suitable point here. Come to option C now. Renuka had done with the intention to please her mother. Understand? So, in order to make her mother happy, she plucked those flowers and gave her. Understand? So, accurate answer is C. Number 4, Renuka's mother made her realize her mistake quite practically, quite sternly, quite harshly, quite carefully. Here, sternly means in a strong mode, in a strong way, strong sense we can say. Harshly, rudely we know. Carefully, cautiously. B, C and D are not at all suitable. Renuka's mother made her realize her mistake quite practically. Quite practically. But what happened at the end? You knew very well. 5th one. The laugh was on me. The last line in the first paragraph was this. The laugh was on me. What does it mean? Option A. The mother was caught in the wrong. Yes, might be. B. The neighbors laughed at the daughter. There is no incident that neighbor laughed at the daughter. C. Renuka laughed at her mother. Of course she has, she loves her mother, but there is no incident that she laughed at her mother. The mother laughed on receiving the flowers. She was pleased with receiving the flowers, but C and D, there are no laughter incidents. Remember. So option A, the mother was caught in the wrong. According to this question, the laugh was on me means she was caught in wrong sense. What is the wrong sense here? She might have told the wrong things, a wrong thing to the daughter. Okay, option A is right. 6th one. In the end, Renuka agreed with the mother, but she also corrected the mother at the same time. Yes, it happened. She agreed, but she corrected. She did not offend the mother. Okay, that's why she used the word, okay mother, if you insist, I agree. If you insist, I agree. She agreed, but she also corrected by saying, but last year they were bums. Okay, so this shows that. What does it show about the daughter? She respected her mother and could not offend her. Most accurate one. B. She feared her mother and could not speak against her. No. There is a free space between them. Option C. She was not sure whether she was right or wrong. Of course, there is no confusion in daughter's mind. She had clarity that she was right. Option D. She wanted to please her mother. See, she agreed and corrected. This means, does she want to please her mother? No. It may be, option D may be correct for another question but not here. So obviously option A, she respected her mother and could not offend her. With that statement we could understand that is the thing. So option A is right answer. Now question for discussion, seventh one. What did you learn from this story? What does the moral strike to you? That's very important. If you were in the place of the mother, how could you react? Do you scold or do you beat her or do you choose any different method to approach the daughter? Have an idea and discuss these things with your teacher. Dear students, by explaining the first three passages, I am winding up today's class. I am giving you the remaining two passages as homework. As I have told you, I have sent key to your teacher. Please ask your teachers the key and do the cross checking of those answers and do the 14th and 15th passages as homework today. Hope you have learnt new things in this EEP class. With this, I wind up today's class. We will meet in the next EEP class. See you all.